many of you have eaten in a restaurant before? How do you know that that food was not poisoned? Can you prove it empirically? That the food was not poisoned? God forbid, if the food was poisoned, will you be the first to be poisoned? So why is it that you went to a canteen, ordered food, sat down confidently and ate it? When everybody is approaching a 4-junction road that has traffic lights, and cars are coming and your own traffic light says to stop, if you stop, it is because you are trusting that every other person is also obeying the traffic lights. So whether you like it or not, you make decisions on a daily basis based on faith. Have you entered an airplane without knowing the personal history of the pilot, and you just sat down and allowed someone to whisk you off the ground for literally, depending on if it's local or international, for about 1 hour? Off the ground. Thousands of miles off the ground. And you sat there confidently. You walk by faith every day. Come on, I get what I'm saying? So now the real question is, why can't people find God? The people who want to find God some other means, apart from just reading the Bible and believing it. Because this seems like a valid intellectual argument, that why can't God just show himself? Number one, if God created time and created space, he will exist out of it. So maybe the problem is, you are trying to look for the creator of the computer in the computer. You are checking the apps, Microsoft Word, PowerPoint. Is God here? Is Bill Gates here? You are looking for Bill Gates in the different font styles of Microsoft Word. Looking for the creator in the creation. Even logically, it should follow that what you will find will be the evidence of his work and not he himself. The second reason some people have struggled to find God is pain. Is pain. You know, there's a saying in our local parlance, an adage that says you cannot wake up somebody who is pretending to sleep. Understand this. Sometimes you are trying to prove God's existence to people who are angry at God. It won't work. So when secretly, the real issue is this. Maybe there is a secret habit that they know that if God exists, they will be held accountable for that habit. They are doing something that God doesn't approve of. Or they lost someone and they don't understand why God, though he's existent, will allow that happen. Why would he allow that happen? Why would he allow that happen? And every other intellectual argument you give to them, oh well, men have free will, mankind is fallen, bad things happen to good people. And sometimes they are nursing a wound. And that's why apologetics must still be with compassion. Are you listening to me? Another reason some people find it hard to find God is bad examples. And I cannot begin to tell you, we're dealing with this one on Sundays. So, but bad examples, it's a real thing. I told you about a rapper who said he grew up, I think it was his uncle or something, who was a clergyman. This was the first picture of Christianity that he saw. And that clergyman, I think, abused his 2 sisters sexually. So as you can imagine, he just hated Christianity, thought everybody is a hypocrite, and thought the whole religion is flawed. Come on, are you listening to me? And I'll be honest enough to tell you that the truth is, there are a couple of bad examples. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. It is very okay to use logic to point people to God. And so, now the first thing I'm even going to say is, it's not even logic, it's right there in the Bible. Show me Romans chapter 1 verse 20, as quickly as possible. Romans chapter 1 verse 20. Now, if you're conversant with the argument of Paul to the church at Rome, this was the way he progressed. He first started in the first chapter by addressing people who belong to other tribes. Now, some people ask questions like, what about those who never heard the gospel and all of that? That one is 100 days of discipleship question, and all of that. Someone sent to me, damn, when it's 100 days starting again, I'm saying, it's not your fault, because no be you, did we not just finish last week? It's not just last week we finished that thing. I beg. So, where was I? So, even my media team is traumatized when they hear 100 DOD, because, it's a lot of work, that's what I'm saying. Anyways. Look at it, I've lost my train of thoughts. But anyway, in Romans 1, If you never had any religious exposure, what are the things you should know? It says, verse 20, for since the creation of the world, his invisible attributes are clearly seen, being understood how? So it means that even if I don't see the maker, if I see the things that are made, I will know that the maker exists. Since the creation of the world, his invisible attributes. It is true that you can't see him, but you can see the things that he has done. Clearly seen and being understood by the things which are made, even his eternal power and Godhead, so that they are without excuse. You're without excuse. You've never been in Sunday school, but you're without excuse. When you look at, if you go just a little deep in science,